God stands at a locked door in the dark under the world. He is not knocking, he is guarding it. Inside sleeps a king who never once broke his word. And the God at the door is the same God who took everything that king owned. So here is the question no temple will answer plainly. Why would Vishnu destroy the one man in all three worlds who never told a lie? Why would the preserver come in disguise to strip a good king of his kingdom, his heavens, and his throne? And why, after taking it all, does the god now stand watch at that king's door like a servant? This is the story of Mahabali, the demon who was better than the gods, and the dwarf who brought him down with 3 small steps. Start with the king because you have to love him first. His name was Bali, Mahabali, the great Bali. And yes, he was an asura, what people call a demon. But forget the word. Under Bali, the world had never been kinder. There was no hunger in his cities, no lie in his courts, no beggar turned away from his gate. He had made one vow the day he took the throne. No one who asks me for anything will ever leave my hands empty. Kings say things like that. Bali meant it. A farmer asked for a field, he gave a village. A priest asked for a cow, he gave 100. His treasury bled every single day, and every single day Bali smiled and gave again. A king's wealth is not his own, he said. It is only passing through his hands on its way to someone who needs it. His grandfather had been Prahlada, the boy who once stared down a burning god and did not blink. Devotion ran in his blood, and that, strangely, is exactly where the trouble begins. Because a good king grows powerful, and a powerful asura frightens the gods. Bali had already done the unthinkable. He had marched on heaven itself. He had faced Indra, king of the gods, lord of thunder, and he had won. The Devas were driven out of their own sky. Indra, who had never bowed to anyone, wandered the earth without a throne. Picture that. The gods, homeless, hiding, beaten by a demon who ruled more justly than they ever had. And here is the part the priests hate to say out loud. The people did not miss the gods. Under Bali, they were happier. So the Devas went to the one door still open to them. They went to Aditi, mother of the gods, and she wept for her exiled children. And Aditi prayed to the only power higher than a righteous king. She prayed to Vishnu. Do something, she begged. Bali has done no evil, but heaven has no home. And Vishnu, the preserver, listened. And Vishnu agreed to be born, not as a warrior, not as a lion or a storm. He would come as Aditi's own small son, a boy, a dwarf. At that very time, Bali was performing the greatest ritual of his life, the Ashwamedha, the horse sacrifice, the rite that would seal his rule over all 3 worlds forever. Priests chanted, fires roared to the sky, gold was heaped in mountains to be given away, and Bali stood at the center of it and made his promise again, louder than ever. On these sacred days, no one who asks me leaves without their wish. Ask, and it is yours. Down the road to that sacrifice came a small figure, a brahmin boy, no taller than a child, walking barefoot through the dust. He carried a wooden umbrella and a beggar's water pot. His steps were slow, his eyes were calm, too calm. Around him, the priests fell silent without knowing why. The fires bent toward him. The air felt heavier, older, as if the whole sky were leaning down to watch a dwarf walk to a door. This was Vamana. And Vamana was Vishnu, folded into the body of a boy. Bali saw the child approach and rose from his throne to honor him. The most powerful king in existence bowed to a beggar. He did not know he was bowing to God. The court watched the strange small guest. Bali gestured him to the seat of honor. The boy simply smiled and waited. But one man in the hall was not smiling. But one man in that court knew exactly who had come. Shukracharya, guru of the asuras, teacher of Bali's whole line. He looked at the dwarf and the blood drained from his face. He pulled Bali aside and his voice was shaking. That is no Brahmin boy. Look again. That is Vishnu himself, wearing a child like a mask. He has come for you. Bali went still. Whatever he asks, refuse it. Send him away. I am your guru and I am begging you. This one gift will cost you everything you have. And Bali, the demon king, the conqueror of heaven, looked at his terrified teacher and asked the only question that mattered to him. You are telling me that God himself has walked to my door as a beggar to ask me for something. Yes, to ruin you. The Lord of all things has come to my house to receive from my hand, and you want me to turn him away empty. There is no ruin in that. There is only glory. Let him ask. The guru's face fell. He knew there was no stopping this now. The court held its breath. The boy waited, patient as stone. The fires crackled. Bali took a breath and walked toward the child. Shukracharya watched, one last plea in his eyes. One more time, the guru spoke. Shukracharya tried one last time. A promise made to a trickster is not a sin to break. Save yourself, Bali, say no. And here is the line that made a demon immortal. If I keep my word only when it costs me nothing, then it was never my word. It was only my convenience. I have told every soul in 3 worlds that no one leaves my hands empty. Shall I make God the first exception? Then I am a liar, and a liar's heaven is not worth having. He turned back to the little boy waiting patiently in the firelight. Bali walked to him, knelt to his height, and folded his hands. Ask, child. Whatever you want in this world is already yours. Only name it. The dwarf smiled. And in that smile, if Bali had looked closely, he might have seen the whole universe waiting. The court leaned in to hear. Shukracharya closed his eyes. The fires steadied. The boy drew a small breath and made the smallest request in history. I am a small person. I have small needs. I do not want your gold or your cities or your cattle. The court leaned in. Give me only this much land as I can cover in 3 steps, 3 paces measured by my own feet. That is all I ask. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Bali laughed gently, the way you laugh at a child asking for a single coin. 3 steps? Boy, ask for islands. Ask for a kingdom. Your legs are so short you will barely cross this courtyard. 3 steps are enough for me. Then 3 steps are yours, I swear it. He reached for the sacred water pot to seal the vow, because in that world a gift is only real when water is poured over the giving hand. But the water would not come. Something was blocking the spout. It was Shukracharya. In a last desperate act, the guru had shrunk himself to the size of an insect and crawled into the vessel to plug it, to stop the vow from ever being sealed. Vamana saw it. Quietly, the dwarf lifted a blade of sharp grass and slid it into the spout to clear the block. It pierced Shukracharya's eye. The guru burst out half-blind, and from that day, the teacher of the asuras saw the world with one eye. The water flowed. It fell over Bali's hand, bright in the firelight. The vow was sealed, and the dwarf began to grow. It started small. The hall could not hold what came next. A boy becoming a man, then a man becoming a giant. Then a giant becoming something the words in your language were never built to hold. Vamana rose past the palace, past the mountains, past the clouds. His body filled the sky until the sun was a spark behind his shoulder. The court screamed and scattered. The priests fell on their faces. This was Trivikrama, the one who crosses the universe in 3 strides. And Bali, alone, did not run. He stood beneath the growing god and watched his whole world become small. The first step came down. 1 foot of the cosmic god pressed onto the earth, and in a single stride he covered all of it. Every ocean, every mountain, every kingdom Bali had ever ruled, gone under 1 divine foot. The second step lifted. It rose through the heavens, through the realm of the gods, through every sky above the sky, and came down covering all of it. Heaven itself, measured and taken in a single pace. 2 steps. And already there was nothing left in all creation that Bali still owned. The cosmic god looked down at the small king standing in the ruins of everything. I have taken the earth with my first step. I have taken the heavens with my second. You promised me 3. Where shall I place the 3rd? Bali stood there with nothing. No kingdom, no heaven, no treasury, no throne. Everything his vow had ever protected was under the feet of the god he had promised. And every soul in creation waited to see what a ruined king does when God calls in the debt. Bali did the only thing a man of his word could do. He knelt. He bowed his head to the ground before the towering god. Lord, my earth is gone, and it was yours. My heaven is gone, and it was yours. But my word said 3 steps, and I have given you only 2. He placed his own head on the dust. There is one place left in all creation that I still own. This head. Place your 3rd step here. Let the debt be paid in full. The whole universe went silent. The god who had crossed heaven and earth in 2 strides looked down at the demon king kneeling in the dirt, offering the last thing he had, his own life, rather than break a single promise. And something happened that had never happened before. The god who takes everything hesitated. Vishnu let the disguise fall away. The dwarf, the giant, the cosmic strider, all of it softened into the calm, dark face of the preserver himself. And he did not crush Bali. He placed his foot on the king's bowed head, gently, the way you bless a child. Bali, I did not come to destroy you. I came to find out if you were real. And you are the most real thing I have ever met. No god in my heavens has ever passed the test you just passed. So hear your reward. You will not go to any hell. You will rule Sutala, a realm deeper and richer than the heaven I just took. You will be honored there above the gods themselves. And when this age turns, it will not be a god who sits on that throne. It will be you. You, the demon, will become the next Indra. Not for what he had lost, for what he had been shown about himself, but he asked for one thing more. Lord, if I must go below, grant me only this. Let me leave my door, and let me see you standing at it, not as my judge, as my own. And Vishnu, the ruler of all things, the god the whole universe bows to, agreed to become the gatekeeper of a demon. That is why, to this day, the story says Vishnu stands guard at Bali's door in the world below, God keeping watch over the man who outgave him, and once every year, they say, Bali is allowed to rise and walk among his old people again, to see if they are still kind, still fed, still true. In the south, they call that homecoming Onam. The king comes back, the lights come on. The feast is laid for a demon who loved his people more than his own crown. So go back to the door in the dark and look again. The god standing guard there did not betray his devotee. He knelt to him, because the deepest secret in this whole religion is a quiet one. God is not looking for people who will worship him. God is looking for one person who will not break his word, even to God. Bali was that person, and that is why the Lord of the universe still stands at his door.